In the 1980s, Freddy Krueger grabbed our attention in a way that Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers never could. I mean, Jason never had a Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff song, or even a Fat Boys song. They were both excellent, by the way. You should go check those out. Michael Myers never had like a life-size cardboard cutout in a big product merchandise display right when you walk into Toys R Us. I have a distinct memory of walking into Toys R Us and seeing a Freddy Krueger display like this with the glove and the sweater and the hat, you know, if you wanted to be Freddy for Halloween. Part 3 really just put Freddy Krueger on top of that slasher hill. He was the king of the slashers in the 80s. I'm Matt Eddy, and you're watching $2 Horror. The Dream Warriors is the quintessential nightmare movie, right? You have all those great moments. Where's the bourbon, bitch?
I said, where's the fucking bourbon? You should listen to your mother.
Prime time, bitch. All the bitch moments, I guess.
This is it, Jennifer. Your big break in TV. Welcome to prime time, bitch.
You have the awesome characters, you know, you got the hardcore girl, and you got Kincaid, and the wizard kid. You got all the really cool kills, that awesome puppet scene. It really, after part 2, which wasn't, like, we all know that movie had, like, a tone. Even though none of us really picked up on it in the 80s. But it was kind of like a lackluster entry into the series compared to the first one, which is such a breakout hit. And then, you know, part 2 was just like, it's pretty good. Nobody hated it. I don't remember anybody bad-mouthing that movie back then. We all loved it. You've got the body, I got the brains. It was a great fucking line.
You've got the body. I've got the brain.
Part 3 was something special, right? Like, it really introduced you to Freddy Krueger in a way the first 2 movies really hadn't. It was Freddy Krueger as a personality, as a property, you know, an intellectual property, which I think is what made him so much more successful anyway than Jason and Michael Myers. Not just because he could talk and he told jokes and stuff, but he was so distinctive, and they could merchandise that stuff. Like I said, the Halloween gear, you had to go out and buy that claw, that plastic claw. You know, you couldn't find a red and green sweater readily anywhere, so you might as well buy official merchandise. Nobody was going to do that with Jason and Michael Myers. You know, everybody was putting out their version of the Jason hockey mask. You can go pick one up for $2 at whatever drugstore you had in your town when you were growing up in the 80s. Mine was Eckerd's. So if part 3 made Freddy the king of the slashers, part 4, the Dream Master, is just Freddy showing off. I mean, they knew nobody was going to touch them at that point, and that's why this is my favorite entry in the series. It's just, I think the quality of this one is better than all of the other movies. I think the story in this one is, you know, aside from the first movie, which you never, when you talk about any franchise, you never really are talking about the first movie if you're going to discuss the sequels and everything, because the first movie always stands alone, because it's always the best movie in the franchise, right?
9, 10, never sleep. Can.
So really, we're talking about all the sequels, and 3 is the one that could show you how cool Freddy could be. 4 is the one where Freddy was that cool. This was known as the MTV movie or the MTV Freddy movie or something like that. And it shows. This is like, it's pop culture overdrive. Everything is awesome in this movie, especially now when you're watching it, 30-something years later, whatever the math is. When you're watching it now, you got that Dramarama song that Rick is working out to. He's doing his little martial arts routine in the garage, and that song's fucking awesome.
Do you wanna eat? Do you wanna sleep? Do you wanna drown? Just settle down, settle down, settle down.
You got that Sinead O'Connor song while Debbie's lifting weights later on. One of the coolest kills of the whole movie.
I don't believe in you.
I believe in you. No pain, no gain.
The Dream Master brings back surviving characters from the Dream Warriors. We have Kristen, Kincaid, and Joey, and it very quickly gets to work killing all of them off. Bye-bye. Kincaid's death is one of my favorite sequences in the movie. His whole dream where he wakes up in the junkyard and he says, "This isn't my dreamland," and his dog is there whose name is Jason. Dog pees fire, and it kind of sets things into motion. We get that pretty cool special effect of Freddy's skeleton kind of fleshing out. All of his muscles and tendons are coming back, and it's a pretty cool little scene. And you got a nice little atmospheric backlit silhouette of Freddy standing there looking awesome. He says, "You shouldn't have buried me, I wasn't dead." His lips don't move in that, but he does say it. It's super cool because, Kincaid, pushes a big car on top of Fred, and he's like, "I got you, motherfucker!" And of course he doesn't, because it's the very beginning of the movie. And then you see he's kind of surrounded by all these cars. He's circled in, surrounded on all sides by all these junkyard cars, and he screams Freddy's back, and you get that awesome pull-out shot of the whole planet is a junkyard with him echoing Freddy's back. See you later, Kincaid. He's gone. Next, Joey gets it, and this is a really memorable scene. The waterbed scene. You got that commercial from MTV's playing. He's laying on his waterbed watching MTV. You got that guy with the goggles who always did those weird commercials for MTV. He's listening to music. He's looking at his girly poster hanging on the wall, and of course, she comes up in the waterbed, and he pulls his bedding aside, and she's under there, and she's like, "Come on." It's a really cool scene.
How's this for a wet dream?
And Kristen, of course, her death sequence is a little longer than the others because this is kind of like the catalyst of the movie. Her and her friends are visiting the Elm Street house because Joey and Kincaid have died, and so Kristen's kind of filling them in on the Freddy lore and the mythology, the history of it. Her mom drives by and gets a call back to the third movie with the on delay line.
"Kristen, get the hell away from that house! On delay! On delay! On delay!"
Forces her to go home. Turns out her mom dosed her with some sleeping pills, and she's like, "You just killed me, you idiot." And she did. She goes up into her room. This very kind of bad sequence of her stumbling around, pulling drawers out of her dresser and stuff. I don't know what the hell she's doing. Can you hear Seymour barking in the microphone? I wonder if it's picking it up. Anyway, she decides she's got a dream of a happy place, and she wakes up on a beach. And of course, you know, Freddy shows up. You get the weird fin, the shark's fin claw thing that speeds into the beach and explodes that sandcastle. And there's Freddy, puts on his sunglasses because it is 1989 after all. And that's it for Kristen. She bequeaths her weird power of being able to summon people into her dreams. She gives this to Alice. I don't know why. If she hadn't have done that, Freddy would have been shit out of luck, right? That's kind of what the movie implies. So everything that happens afterwards is Kristen's fault. The things that really work about this movie for me are the dream sequences are more inventive. They feel more dreamlike than they have in the past movies. Alice has that whole extended scene where she goes into the diner where she works, and you get the soul pizza bit with Rick as a meatball.
If food don't kill you, the service will. The usual. My favorite. Eeny, meeny, miny.
You know, he jabs him in the head and says, "Rick, you're such a meatball." Is one of my favorite bits of the whole franchise. Alice goes to the movie, she's seeing Reefer Madness, and is like, all this surreal stuff is happening. She gets sucked into the movie screen, and she looks back, and like all of her dead friends are like staring at her deadpan and applauding. Real nice touches that you didn't really get in the other movies. I suppose the body bag scene in the first movie was like this. That was like one of those moments that felt dreamlike and surreal, and it was really effective. You know, Freddy has the soul pizza, and he's like, "Bring me more. I'm always hungry." And fight it as she may, try as she may, she ends up opening the doors to Debbie.
Bring me more. Your shift is over.
Then you have Sheila, who is like my favorite character in all of the movies. You know, she's just this mousy little nerd girl, but she's on top of it. You know, she's smart, and it's mind over matter for her. The classroom sequence with Freddy, Sheila's death, is one of my favorites. I absolutely love it.
Wanna suck the face?
No.
In 1989, when I was a little 11-year-old kid, I saw this movie in the theaters. My best friend, now my brother-in-law, his mom bought us tickets and hit the road. She did this for us quite often. It was pretty cool. She'd just drop us off at the movie theater, buy us the tickets to whatever we wanted to see, and, you know, then she went to the mall and went shopping or whatever for a couple hours and came picked us up at the end. It was awesome. But I felt like a super cool kid seeing the rated R Freddy movie in 1989. I have very fond memories of this day. And for that reason, it's probably why I watched Part 4 more than any of the other entries. I've seen them all a million times, but I just love Part 4. It's my favorite one, and it's probably because of that nostalgia hit. But I do think the quality is better than 2, 3, definitely 5, and all the way up till Freddy vs. Jason, which I've said before on this show is the perfect movie. I love that movie. This is a movie where we get the souls of my children, the chest plate with all the heads on it, and Linnea Quigley's boobs. It's just a super, super fun movie. I know you've seen it. If you haven't, you should. It's fantastic. Highly recommend. Go back and watch it if you haven't watched it in a while. It's great. Don't anybody give a shit for watching movies all the time because their world sucks. My name is Matt Eddy, and we will see you next month. Bye.
This movie, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, A-OK.